Okay, motion and a second to have Adam Devon as chair and Tom England as vice chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it's all yours now.
Thank you, Brandy. Yeah. Thank you. We do have a few other appointments we have to approve since we did have last month's meeting canceled. Just went through the election of officers and we have a few appointments. We have the Plat Committee members to approve for this year. The Plat Committee would consist of Sky Metters, the county engineering, and Hannah Parkhill, the alternative. Randy James and Zach Loop, the alternate from the building department. Derek Dieter and John Law from the county surveyor's office. And Ron Messler from Clay Fire as a member, and Mark Espich with David Akins from the health department as the alternate. We need a motion for approval for the Plat Committee members.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the Plat Committee members as presented. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Second or opposed? Motion carries. I guess we kind of went backwards, didn't we? It's executive, well, no, we didn't. Executive committee, I'm sorry. Executive committee for the commission consists of the president, the vice president, and one member of the commission. Last year, it was myself, Tom England, and Dr. Thacker was the other member. Unless there's anybody, we have a motion or a recommendation. Dr. Thacker, I think I talked to him and he said he'd be fine staying on as the executive committee, but unless anybody else is interested in doing it.
Gene Matt said, I'll make a motion to select as executive committee, the president, vice president, Dr. Thacker.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any last comments? No. We have a motion and a second to approve the executive committee as myself, Tom England, and Dr. Thacker. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we also have appointment for the ABZA representatives from the commission. This past year was DJ Tavernier and Dr. Lauk. I believe, right? Yes, Dr. Lauk was the other member.
Is the county BZA member, and then DJ Tavernier as the town representative.
The town representative. I believe that's still good. I think the only other, and I think I was the alternate. Is that still, are we doing alternate or not? No. Doesn't matter. So I think I'm only one that's available, aren't I? So I think that's willing. DJ, I'm assuming you're willing to stay.
Well, I'm the chair.
Well, I know, just formality here. We could vote you out and then you're not.
It wouldn't be as much fun without me.
Mhm.
So, do we have a motion to approve the, appoint the ABZA representatives?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second to approve DJ Tavernier and Dr. Lauk as the ABZA representatives from the Area Plan Commission. Can we have or no, do we have a motion for approval? Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Okay. I believe that's all the appointments. Now we can go on to the public hearings. We have a combined public hearing. Can we have the reading on that, please?
A combined public hearing of Braun Audrey L. seeking the following variances. Variance 1 from section 154.092A to allow a lot area of 1.5 acres where a minimum of 20 acres is required for a proposed one lot and one outlot subdivision. And 2 from section 154.092D to allow a front yard setback of 11 feet where 40 feet is required for an existing structure, also seeking primary approval of the Minor subdivision to be located between Poplar Road and Barley Road on the south side of Western Railway property located at 69517 State Road 104, Highway, St. Joseph County, APC number 3059-24.
Great. Good afternoon, Farial Sharif, Area Plan Commission staff. You all have seen a few of these types of petitions. The petitioners would like to do a subdivision to split off a portion of their land, but in order to do so, a variance is needed from two of the development standards. Rather than going through the BZA and then the plat committee, there's an option to do them both once at the APC, so that's what we're here for. Just as a matter of going over the procedure, I'm going to present a staff report for the variances, which will include an overview of the petition generally. Then I'll do the staff report for the subdivision, and then you'll do your usual hear from the petitioner and public hearing, and then you can vote. There will have to be a few votes. The first will be related to the variances. If you deny either, the subdivision would need to be tabled as it wouldn't be meeting requirements. If you do grant the variances, we proceed to the subdivision. You'll have to grant a waiver they're requesting access for, and then you can approve the subdivision as long as I tell you it's meeting all requirements. There are no recommendations here, no forwarding. All votes are done by this board. As a preview, staff is recommending approval on everything. So for the staff report, this trapezoid-shaped parcel is in Lincoln Township, just south of the railroad tracks. State Road 104 intersects it currently. What they're wanting to do is split off a corner to the southwest of State Road 104. That's the triangle in the corner there. It contains a house currently. The right-of-way on SR 104 would be dedicated to the public. The remainder will be platted into an outlot. That means it becomes unbuildable. It would just be used for farming. Both variances relate back to the triangle-shaped parcel, proposed Lot 1. This is the existing home on it. It was measured to be about 11 foot back from the new property line. This is the farm field. And this shows what I believe to be the marker for the unimproved Poplar Street. So the west lot line for the outlot. Here is the full subdivision plat. It's kind of flipped. So north is to the right there. As I stated, variances apply to this proposed Lot 1. Staff routinely supports these kind of splits to create lots with homes under 20 acres, as long as it's not creating new residential use in an agricultural district. In this case, the action is not converting farmland to new houses. However, if you look at the entirety of the subdivision, the outlot they're making does actually have sufficient frontage and sufficient remaining acreage, such that if someone wanted to in the future, they could replat it and create two buildable lots without needing another variance. Now, that's not necessarily the intention here. They want it as an outlot, but to protect the area into perpetuity, we're recommending the approval for the lot area variance be tied to a written commitment stating that the outlot cannot be replatted to create another additional buildable lots in the future. I have that language on screen there. Otherwise, we are recommending approval subject to that written commitment. And then the other variance requested necessitated because of the split, the front lot line will now be on SR 104, and the distance from there to the existing structure is 11 feet. The front setback is 40 feet in the agricultural district, so they need a variance for the existing home to stay where it is. We are recommending approval on this as well. Basically, staff does not find that allowing the existing home to remain where it is would be injurious. But if it becomes the case that this house is ever torn down by a future property owner, we don't want to allow a new house to be built in the same location. We would want any subsequent development or structure to meet that 40-foot setback. So we have recommended a written commitment here as well to that effect, stating that any new structures built on Lot 1 must adhere to the required 40-foot front setback requirements of the zoning ordinance, and that the variance will terminate upon demolition of at least 50% of the existing structure. Okay, I'll quickly go over the staff report for the full subdivision. The subdivision will consist of one building lot and one outlot. Total area is 47.51 acres. No wetlands are present. A portion of the property is in the floodplain, and that has been shown on the plat. The land surveyor is requesting a waiver for continued access for the existing drive on State Road 104, subject to any NDOT approval. The county surveyor and the county engineer recommend approval. The county health department also recommends approval. However, they recommend that subject to the house being demolished or the septic system replaced and a septic permit application submitted to the health department. So staff has reviewed and finds that if the variances and the waiver are granted, it meets the conditions for primary approval. So we recommend approval subject to the stipulations outlined by the health department. One sec.
On that page, if I may ask.
Yeah, so just real quick, as a summary, we have two variances. We recommend approval subject to the written commitments. We recommend you approve the waiver and then approve the subdivision subject to the health department conditions. And I can take your question if you had one, Jean.
On the previous slide, you referenced first State Road 104, but then later State Road 331. So I don't know. if that-
That's a typo then.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Why is there a difference between the plat that's on the site plan versus for the little triangle? Looks like there's more to the west on the site plan drawing versus the aerial photograph. And which is correct?
Oh, yeah. So this aerial is based off of our GIS. But it's actually a little bit incorrect. We did look at our the deeds, and the deeds do show it going out a little bit. So what's on the subdivision plat is what's accurate.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Okay, we have the presentation, please.
Good afternoon, Chris Gadlowski, Abbott Marsh Consultants, 315 West Jefferson Boulevard, South Bend, and I represent the Bronze here. As you can see from the GIS aerial, it was one large parcel which bisected State Route 104. There's an existing house on the south side and farm ground on the north side. Their intention is to sell the home to a neighbor so they can rehab it and move in, and then continue farming the ground where the outlot A is in perpetuity, as that's their family farm. The written commitments for the setback are, or the written commitments, the two written commitments, they said they're fine with if you so feel fit to approve the petition. And then just one clarification, I know the NDOT driveway was approved. We did forward that on to planning. As nothing's changing, no use or driveway location. Therefore, NDOT is granted that it's fine, it's satisfactory. Regarding the septic, from our septic inspection during the review of the plat, there needs to be a repair, some form of repair. And I think either the buyer and the seller are working on some resolution to fix that. So the house is not going to be torn down. The house will be remodeled with building permits or whatever's necessary. Same with the septic. And then the goal is just to keep the home and the outbuilding existing where they're at. But again, the intention is to meet the health department requirements for that repair. I can answer whatever questions you may have.
And just to clarify, the written commitment staff was recommending was to, or I guess the health department was recommending was to, there wasn't anything on replace or repairing it.
So it's not for that, that would not be a written commitment. It's just they're recommending we approve the subdivision subject to those stipulations that either the house gets demolished or a new septic system permit is pulled and applied for.
A new permit, not necessarily a new system, but
Let me see.
because repair would be
exactly.
different, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A new and a septic permit application submitted to the Department of Health. So the way that they have written it is subject to the house must be demolished and the septic system abandoned, or the septic system must be replaced and a septic permit application submitted to the Department of Health.
Any repair they're fine with?
That's not the way I'm hearing it, right?
You know, we had an inspection, and I think they're gonna hire another inspector or septic installer to get an estimate on what needs to be done to satisfy the health department.
Right.
Whether that's repair or new, I don't think.
Well, I
it's
just don't want to put a
clear.
written commitment stating it has to be replaced when a repair would be suffice, but that's what I was trying to.
I think the commitment was on the outlot A and the setback.
Yeah, the septic wasn't a written commitment.
Yeah.
It
From the
was
health
just a
department.
recommendation from.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a condition on the approval. It wouldn't be tied. It would just mean that we couldn't, so you guys would be granting primary approval. We couldn't grant secondary approval if their conditions are not met.
Okay. got it.
Yes,
I just didn't want to do something that
makes sense.
prevented them from doing a repair. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead.
There was mention in there about a 5-foot non-accessible easement. I don't know what that is.
Those are standard non-access easements that are put across our subdivisions, and then our county engine or waiver is granted to allow the actual access to be located for the county engineer's recommendation.
Okay.
Sorry, so much of these details are typically worked out at plat committee and variance is heard by the BZA, but our petitioner is taking the fast track with this one at a combined hearing, which we don't do too many of these.
Any other questions for the petitioner? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and open this public. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Is there anybody present wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Please come forward and state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Sandy Ike, EICH, and I live at 6737 East State Road 104. This used to be where I lived and I raised my children. However, in 2019, I had my spine crushed. And during recovery, I had left the house. My mother took care of me. And unfortunately, the house was broken into. Being broken into, I no longer felt safe there. So in the meantime, we have found somebody who would like to just buy that parcel that the house is on. Now, the farm has been in my family for 30+ years. My son has his own chemical-free produce market farm. He farms it, chemical-free produce for sale to the mass public. We're not going to get rid of the farmland. We don't want to change that farmland. I just want to get rid of that house. I'm not living there. I'm not residing there. And right now it's becoming where, as a single mom by myself, I don't have the monetary means to update it, to fix it, to live there. So I'm, of course, I'd like to see this happen. I mean, it'd be terrible because it's a piece of property with could be a beautiful house for a family on. If we can't do this, then it gets torn down and it's just going to be a derelict, unusable piece of property because it's not worth crossing the highway to try to farm an acre or an acre and a half or 2 acres. It's unfeasible. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sandy. Is there anybody else present wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Please come forward. Seeing none. Is there anybody on Zoom wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Please use the raise hand feature. Could you put on the screen? I can't see on my screen in front of me there. That's fine. I meant on my screen here. You don't know how to do that? Okay, that's right. Anybody? Their hand raised, I don't think.
No, I don't see.
Seeing none, is there anybody wishing to speak against this petition present? Please come forward and state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm Ron Wolf. I got 16 vacant acres on the opposite side of Poplar. And my only question is if you've got a rule, a 20-acre rule, and everybody's got to abide by that, but then you're going to start making exceptions, then where does that end? I mean, all these people that bought the 20 acres to abide by the rule, they're going to be pissed because they would have loved to have just had an acre and a half and build their house and be happy. So how do you, how, you got to be fair. I have nothing against anybody here, but I'd like to take my 16 acres and build a dozen houses there. That'd be great. That ain't going to be allowed. So, and they're not talking about, I thought they're going to remodel the house. So that's a moot point. Yeah, you can remodel a house and you can sell it. They remodel it, it's fine. But they want to build another house there. Isn't that what I'm hearing? So they're not going to build a second house there?
No,
Because where's why is it then they need 11 feet instead of 40 feet? Is the existing house only 11 feet?
That's correct, sir.
Pardon me?
That's correct.
The existing house is only 11 feet. So it's a moot point. Why do you need a variance? It's already there. You're just going to remodel a house that's there. So that's fine. But as long as there's not going to be another house built, because you're not getting a variance then, like I only want to build a house on an acre and a half. The house is there. That's like grandfathered in, I would think. So anyways, that's my point. So.
I also need your address.
I'm not sure what the address is because it's vacant land. There's no mailbox. My address, my current address, well, it would be 32820 Timothy Trail, but I currently just changed to 1702 Lee Lane in Fish Lake, but so, yeah. That it?
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak against this petition, please come forward and state your name and address. Seeing none. Is there anybody on Zoom wishing to speak against this petition? Please use the raise hand feature.
how do you do the raise hand feature?
I think Joe wants to speak.
Joe, Joe, why
Yes,
don't you go
sir.
ahead and please
I
state your
don't know
name
how
and
to use
address?
this. I don't know how to use the Zoom feature, the raise hand feature.
That's all right. You're good. Just state your
Okay.
name and address, please, and you have 3 minutes.
My name's Joe Clemens. I live in New Carlisle, 7556 East State Road 2 in New Carlisle. I'm the party that's interested in the house. I have no intentions of tearing it down. I want to remodel it. And like I said, the septic is, the person didn't do their job right. I will do the necessary repairs with a contractor. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the, septic, but I have no intentions of tearing anything down. I plan on moving there, actually. Want to relocate there.
Okay, Joe, just to clarify, you're not against this petition, correct?
No, sir, I'm all
Okay.
for it.
Just to
Um,
clarify. Okay.
And I guess the stipulation where, that other gentleman was speaking about the 11 feet, they're talking because the house is so close to the road. Where
Right.
most houses are set farther back, it's just because it's kind of a grandfather thing.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is there anybody else on Zoom wishing to speak against this petition? Please use the raise hand feature. Seeing none, I will now close this to the public. And Chris, if you you got 10 minutes to respond if you'd like.
And Chris Gadlowski, Avonmarsh. I just have a couple comments to respond to the couple comments there. The neighbor across from Poplar, it's not new development. It's maintaining the existing house and the existing farm ground. It was one parcel. It's splitting it up in two. One house on the south side of 104, the farm ground on the north side, and plus the landowners agreeable with the two commitments to keep outlot A as farm ground and to keep the house as at the 40-foot setback if it was built new. As you know, by the purchaser and the seller, the house is going to stay, it's going to be remodeled. And the intention of the purchasers and seller are going to work with the health department to remedy whatever septic matter there is. So I think all parties are agreeable there. And again, the intensity of this development is not increasing. It's just staying the same. Property lines getting rearranged. The original right-of-way is 60 feet, 30 feet on each side of the center line. And because of the subdivision plat, a total of 80 feet total has to be dedicated, 40 feet each side. So measuring the existing house to the new right-of-way line is 11 feet. So you can't see that imaginary right-of-way line. You're just gonna know that there's a closer setback. And if anything's ever built new, it's gonna be at that new setback. I think I covered everything unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Chris. Any last questions? Okay, so this is a combined public hearing, so we do have several votes we have to go through. First being the variances, correct? So we can vote on them separately or combined, I believe. And there were written commitments that staff had recommended. So do we have a motion for the variances?
So moved. Second.
Is it as presented or with?
Well, yeah, what's the
subject to
motion?
written commitment?
Because the staff had suggested written commitments, and so if we want those included, you gotta say it.
Subject to the written commitments included in the staff report.
Yes, if you want the written commitments included, then the motion would be to approve the variances subject to the written commitments outlined in the staff report.
Thank you.
Okay,
Do we have a motion on that? Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. We have a motion and a second, where are we at here? To approve the variances for APC 3059-24, subject to the written commitments. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. Dieter, Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Devon.
Yes. And just the approval of the subdivision, correct? Or
the next thing would be the one waiver for
Oh.
the subdivision that's being asked for.
So that's a waiver to grant access off that non-access easement. So it's just for continued access for the
So
existing.
we're approving the waiver, correct?
Yes.
We're not making a recommendation.
No, you're approving.
So do we have a motion to approve or deny the waiver?
I'll make a motion to approve the waiver.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the waiver as presented for APC 3059-24. We have roll call vote, please.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yeah.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Dieter,
Aye.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Devon.
Yes. Waiver is approved. Now, do we have a motion to approve the subdivision? Is it subject? You have to do it subject
Subject
to
to the
the,
health department conditions.
subject to the health
Since
department?
there was some confusion between the petitioner and the report as to what the health department is actually wanting with the septic system, it might make some sense to, instead of saying specifically what the health department wanted, to be subject to health department approval related to the septic system.
That's fine.
Won't happen without it.
Yeah,
Right, I mean,
yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Everybody get that?
Gene Matsat, I'll make a motion to approve the subdivision as requested for APC 3059-24, subject to the requirements of the health department.
Okay, we'll move. A motion is second to approve the subdivision subject to the health department approval for APC 3059-24. We have roll call vote, please.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Dieter,
All right.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Devon.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. We also have a couple text amendments to approve or deny. We have a reading for the text amendment number 1, please.
A proposed ordinance amending chapter 14 of the Town of Osceola zoning ordinance, sections 14.01 -14.08 to bring town floodplain regulations into compliance with recently updated state and federal regulations to allow continued participation in the National Flood Insurance Program, APC number 3060-25.
This is Sean Klein, Area Plan Commission staff. So today you're hearing the last round of text amendment floodplain revisions for APC member jurisdictions. The first up is the town of Osceola. As before, this was initiated by the Indiana DNR, sending us a letter notifying us that our member jurisdictions had fallen out of compliance with the National Flood Insurance Program, and therefore that we needed to make these revisions based on the model ordinance. This will ensure continued participation in the flood insurance program. As of September of 2024, there were 4 flood insurance policies in the town of Osceola with a total coverage amount of $1,323,000. A lot of this, I mean, it looks kind of intimidating if you look at the red line version, but it's really just a lot of it's reorganization. There are some additional duties for the floodplain administrator, more detailed regulations related to when variances can be granted, and additional regulations for residential structures, non-residential structures, and above ground storage tanks constructed within a special flood hazard area. But again, these revisions are necessary for that continued participation in the flood insurance program. So staff does recommend that this be sent to the Osceola Town Council with a favorable recommendation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Sean, any questions? Okay, seeing none, that is the presentation, so I will open this to the public. Is there anybody present wishing to speak in favor of this text amendment? Seeing none, is there anybody online wishing to speak in favor of this text amendment? I can't. Seeing none, anybody present wishing to speak against this text amendment? Please come forward. Seeing none, anybody online wishing to speak against this text amendment? Please use the raise hand feature. And seeing none. I will now close it to the public. Do we have any last comments, questions? Otherwise, do we have a motion? Anybody?
DJ Tavernier, I make a motion that we send APC 3060-25 to the Osceola Town Council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to send APC 3060-25 to the Osceola Town Council with a favorable recommendation. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Dieter,
Aye.
Mr. Matzett,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Devon.
Yes. Motion carries. We have another text amendment.
A proposed ordinance amending Title 8, Article 12 of the Town of Lakeville zoning ordinance, Sections 12.01-12.08 to bring town floodplain regulations into compliance with recently updated state and federal regulations to allow continued participation in the National Flood Insurance Program, APC number 3061-25.
Sean Klein, Area Plan Commission staff. So this is the text amendment, which would bring the town of Lakeville's flood ordinances into compliance with current state and federal standards such that they can continue to participate in the National Flood Insurance Program. I'm happy to answer any questions. We recommend this be sent to the Town Council of Lakeville with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you, Sean. Any questions? Seeing none, I will now open this public. Do we have anybody present wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Seeing none, anybody online wishing to speak in favor of this text amendment, please use the raise hand feature. Seeing none, is there anybody present wishing to speak against this petition? Seeing none, anybody online wishing to speak against this petition, please use the raise hand feature. Seeing none, I will now close this to the public. Do we have any last comments, questions, or do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we send 3061-25 to the Lakeville Town Council with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to send APC 3061-25 to the Town Council of Lakeville with a favorable recommendation. We have a roll call vote, please.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. Dieter,
Aye.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Devon.
Yes, motion carries. We do have a few items not pertaining, not requiring a public hearing to go over. We have, looks like a handful of, or I guess we got a couple findings of facts. Or no, one finding of the facts, sorry. We have for December 17th.
Make a motion that we approve the December 17th, 2024 findings of facts.
We have a motion, a second to approve the findings of the facts for December 17th, 2024. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Dieter.
Aye.
Mr. Devon.
Yes. We also have a resolution appointing an interim executive director of the Area Plan Commission. We need to read that or no, or?
You don't need to read the whole thing. It's, the resolution number would be 269-25. The substantive pieces of it would be that it, appoints Sean Klein as the interim director starting February 22nd. And would ensure that during the period that he serves as interim director, that he would receive the pay for that time commensurate with the executive director position. And, says that the APC is going to perform a search to appoint a permanent, not interim executive director.
Anybody have any questions?
Make a motion to approve the resolution number 269-25.
Second. We have a motion, a second to approve resolution 269-25. We have a roll call vote, please.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Mr. Mattson,
Yes.
Mr. Dieter.
Aye.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Devon.
Yes. Executive Director's Report, Abby.
In lieu of a monthly report, I've given you all the 2024 annual report that outlines all of our petition numbers for 2024 subdivisions, area plan petitions, area board of zoning appeals petitions, other projects from the department, and all of our code data for 2024. This is the same report that's provided to the Board of Commissioners. It serves dual purpose as the Area Plan Commission's 2024 report and then goes to the commissioners. If you have any questions as you review the report, feel free to reach out. Petitions were up 37 from 34 for area plan from 2023 to 2024, as well as BZA. We had 88 petitions from in 2024, up from 84 in 2023. And then I would say, other than the actual just filings, we finally got the comprehensive plan adopted November of 2024. And, code really continues to see a strong level of activity. Number of closed cases number of cases from open to close has decreased even since the report was finalized from 212 to 170. And our code inspectors continue to do a lot of outreach in the community to township trustees, attending community events. And earlier in 2024, they coordinated a multi-jurisdictional training that was pretty cool with a lot of the member towns from the area plan. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or myself until Friday or one of the staff.
Thank you, Abby.
Mhm.
We do have quite a few minutes to approve. So I guess, can we do them all at once or do we have to approve them individually?
If there's any that have specific changes, I would suggest you pull those out and do it individually. If you intend to approve them all wholesale with no changes, you can approve them all at once as long as you list them all.
I will say the December minutes was missing the top header that I have already replaced that and made those changes.
Does anybody have any changes or modifications to the minutes? He's thinking. He's thinking.
Been a couple months since. I didn't have a chance to read through these with ice. With a.
I make a motion that we approve the August 20th, 2024, the September 17th, 2024, and the October 15th, 2024 minutes.
Second.
As presented.
We have a motion, a second to approve the minutes for October 20th, September 17th, October 15th, 2024. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Matsat,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Dr. Thacker,
Yes.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Dieter, Mr. Devon.
Yes. We have December 17th. Since DJ didn't.
You
put that
said
one in.
with
He included
the-
that.
Well, since there's a change, I didn't
Right.
wanna put it in there. Said it's already been corrected? All right, I make a motion that we approve the December 17th, 2024 minutes. With the added correction of the missing header.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the December 17th, 2024 minutes as amended. All those, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Dieter.
Aye.
Mr. Matsat,
Yes.
Mr. Tavernier,
Yes.
Dr. Thacker.
Yes.
Mr. England,
Yes.
Mr. Devon.
Yes. A couple of quick things too. I apologize, Derek. I forgot to welcome you to the commission at the beginning of the meeting, so welcome aboard. God bless you. Thank you. I would like to say, since this is Abby's last minutes, I wanted to say a few things. Abby, it's been a privilege having you as our leader the last 4.5 years. I appreciate all of you've done for this commission, everybody here, especially with everything we've had to deal with. It's, you know, you've always been there and handled everything as a great leader and kept your head high and I appreciate that. I think you've done a phenomenal job. Seeing selfishly, I think I'm sad to see you leave, obviously. But we appreciate your leadership and everything you've done for us in this commission. Wish nothing but the best for you and your family. So I just want to say thank you. So
Got big shoes to fill, Sean.
Oh, I know.
and also just to update, there is a search committee, I think as noted, which is comprised of the executive committee, as well as the president of the commissioners, president of the council. We've already got the post out, so we've already had a few applicants, but we haven't really dove too deep yet into anything, so. So we'll see, but in the meantime, Sean is gonna take the helm and appreciate that, so. If there's anything else, we have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion, a second to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye. Aye, pose same sign. Motion adjourned. We are now closing the meeting. We are also going to do a quick review for our